Hey everybody, what is going on? I'm here with the homie, MTGJedi. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks so much for having me. I'm super pumped to talk about Hydra.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be very interesting. We just did a video on your channel actually, where we kind of talked through the process of a player closer to my level, what I think about when I'm trying to put together a Hydra team. So I'm going to link that below. Be sure and go check that out. Now we're on my account, and we're going to take a look at my actual Hydra teams, and I think you're going to tell me everything that's wrong with them, right?
Yeah, well, sure. In much nicer terms.
All right. So I'll say I have a lot to learn because it's probably been 2 years plus since I've actively engaged with Hydra. And at this go round, I think maybe this is my like third week of actually paying any attention at all to Hydra. So like right before the changes is when I looked at the game mode at all again.
Okay,
Um,
wow. Yeah, yeah. And
so
I think
yeah.
maybe there's some people in your spot too, especially new players coming up in the game. So, yeah, we'll just figure it out together.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm hitting hard, and I'm in a position right now where I can get one good key in hard, and then I drop down and I kind of do some testing in normal. So I would love to hit brutal. I think hitting brutal would be amazing, but I don't think I really can yet.
Okay.
So that's sort of where we're at. So my team on hard is this.
Okay. I like a lot of things about that team.
Okay,
That
that's
looks
that's good to
good.
hear. And I
Okay.
believe I manualed this. I think I manualed this run, which I never thought I would
Okay.
do, but I'm weirdly enjoying playing Hydra lately. So here
That's
we
cool
are.
though. I actually hate manualing Hydra. I'm building full auto teams all day.
I would love a full auto
Um,
team, but it didn't seem to want
yeah,
to happen for me. So
yeah, yeah. Okay,
uh,
cool. And then what are you usually running on normal?
and then my normal teams, these were both new. These were both kind of experimental. So that's one of them.
Okay,
And the second one is this, which is a little. It's not ideal, but I'm also running out of champs at this point. I don't have a ton of champs built
okay.
on this account, so kind of working with what I
Okay,
got.
so my first question most of the time is where are we at with Lydia? Do you have her on this account?
Not yet. I'm.
Okay,
It's going to be a little bit. I'm maybe. I'm at 744, so like I'm
okay.
sort of closing in, but it's going to be a few months, I think.
Okay, so typically, and this doesn't go for everybody, but most of the time, once you get Lydia, that's when you start hitting brutal, unless you're spending a ton of money on the game or you've gotten super lucky with champions. Those are the two exceptions, but obviously that's the exceptions for every successful game mode,
Yeah.
right? So where you're at is, I think, probably pretty average for where people should be at. But I think you could probably be optimizing both teams to get more damage out of both of them.
Okay.
So one of the things that I ask people or I look for on people's accounts is how easy is it to build a champion with the stats you want at 250 speed?
At 250 speed,
Yeah.
I would estimate that I might be able to get comfortably 250, maybe like 6 or 7 champs there with also other stats in mind.
Yeah.
That's a rough
Okay,
estimate.
so that's the like threshold that separates people from being able to do hard versus brutal.
Okay.
When you go to brutal, your goal should be try to get everybody at 250 plus the other stats that you want.
Okay.
If you can't get that, then usually that puts you in, I'm probably not ready for brutal yet.
That's a good thing to know. Like that's a very specific
Yeah,
target. That's helpful. Okay.
cool, sweet. I mean, you have to hit the other stat values too, like 350 accuracy if you want, and like 450 resistance if you want. But that speed requirement has been like the key for most people to just like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. So I would try to push for that first of all.
Okay.
Um, but now I think what we want to do is just get the most damage we can get for now, and then when you're ready to go to brutal, then you probably want to just upgrade your hard team and regear it because I think you have good enough champions on your hard team to do brutal and then build, basically just move up your teams. So take your
Okay.
hard team to brutal, take your normal team to hard, and then build a new team for normal is a lot of times what people do when they're trying to move up.
Okay. That makes sense.
So can we switch back to, well, actually, can you do just like a search of all of your unleveled legendaries to make sure we're not missing anybody?
Yeah. We do that. And
Yeah, and then
then
like 5 star.
okay.
Yeah. Would there be any in the vaults?
There are probably a handful. There's some Pixnails in there, I would imagine. I can't stop pulling
You
Pixnail.
can't stop pulling Pixel. Okay,
uh,
so immediately I'm noticing two insanely useful champions, and that's that brand new Glycade sitting
mm-hmm.
there. Is he
Yeah.
like number one priority to level up
Yeah,
next?
I need one more 5-star chicken and he'll be 6-starred. So we're
Okay, we'll
almost
link
there.
we'll get you to link that video at the end because that video was awesome and
Yeah, that
super
was
fun,
wild.
and they should definitely go watch that. Um, and then the other one is Packmaster.
Okay,
I
I
like
wasn't
that
sure if
guy
he
a lot.
still had it going on. I know it was because of Taunt that I thought he was real good, and apparently there's some controversy around Taunt right now.
Maybe a little bit.
I
I don't know.
feel like I've
Some
heard
people,
something.
and just a couple people
Yeah.
were salty about it. Actually, the reason that he's good has nothing to do with the taunt, and sometimes I turn off the taunt ability.
Okay.
Also, the
Interesting.
reason he's good is not have anything to do with any of those hounds. I've started running him in teams that have no hounds, and that's been much better.
Okay. Good. This will. All right.
So, one of the reasons why I love him is because he's force. And a lot of the times you get in trouble is when the heads that you need block buffs on are force. So his affinity is useful here, not 100% of the time, but most of the time. And on the video we did on my channel, you were mentioning how much you like the Sun Wukong for the block buffs and the buff removal. His block buffs is really great. That ability right there, because it's the turn meter boost and the block buffs. It's super super strong. And then his passive is sneaky really good.
Yeah.
So basically, getting more damage from Hex is amplified with him because he has that buff to damage whenever he's the one who
Yeah.
places it.
Okay. Interesting.
So I've started putting him in a cursed set, and then he's placing the Hex from his own kit, and he's placing it when he does attacks.
All right.
And that's been a big boost to people's damage. So I would imagine we're going to include both of those champions in your team suggestions.
Cool. That's good because I think he looks so cool, and I heard a lot of feedback that outside of the taunt thing, people weren't particularly into him. So that's pretty.
Yeah, it's because all of the hounds are not good.
Yeah.
Like the best one is Fellhound, the rare, and
Yeah.
you turn off his abilities and just let him A1 all day. And sure, okay, that's nifty cool, but it's not actually good.
Right.
So we're still hoping. I'm gonna still hoping that Plarium does the right thing for the Halloween fusion and puts Cerebus in the game.
Man,
Because that
that's
would be
it's right there
so
for him,
cool.
ain't it?
It's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Can we flip back over to the teams that you ran for this
Yeah.
rotation? Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah,
There's the
let's take a
hard
look at
team.
this hard team here. Okay, so what I like about this team is it does have all of the parts that we need in order to be successful. It does. It has our reviver, the block buffs, decreased defense, the turn meter fill, all of that stuff. But I think what it's really lacking is a provoke champion and nothing that we've talked about so far. I was going to say something else, but I think it's really the provoke.
Yeah. Well, here the
I
thing too is for this is rotation 2. So we don't
Okay.
start off with a decay in the mix.
Okay.
So it didn't feel as important. Now sometimes it
Okay.
pops up and
Yeah.
then I'm in
Yeah.
a little bit of trouble, but
I think that the fact that Plarium put the rotations on there and like emphasized that that was a big deal is very misleading.
I'm under the
Unless you're
impression it's a
doing
big deal. So
Well,
you
I
were
think a
right.
lot of people are because they emphasize it so much. It's like rotation 2. But you know what I have done in the past like 6 months is completely ignore the rotation. I
Okay.
don't even look about it. I don't care about it. I just ignore it. And I pretend that all 6 heads are always there. And I build my team with that in mind.
Okay.
Especially when you have that beastie Thor over there with that 5-star blessing and you're going to be popping heads, then you're going to have to deal with all 6 heads at some point. So the affinity of the heads does matter, but also I usually ignore that too.
Okay.
So I usually just use the best champions for each role and ignore the rotation. And sometimes I consider the affinity, but usually it's just whoever's the best champion. And then that way you have one team for brutal, one team for hard, one team for normal, and you just use it every time.
Okay. That would be ideal.
Yeah. Okay. So by doing it that way, that's how you get to the full auto teams also. Because then you always have all of the roles in the team. So then no matter what head pops up, you just like are prepared.
Hmm.
Okay, so when I look at this team, I typically never put Wallmaster and Sun Wukong in the same team.
Okay.
I know that we were like talking about that a little bit on my channel, but like can you remind me why you like them in the team together?
So I think it's a combination of one being fairly limited, I guess, on in options, but also with Wallmaster because I don't have the gear to give him everything. I was more concerned with Mischief not being able to take his buffs, so I focused his
Okay.
resistance over his accuracy. So he's not. I don't have him built to land the debuffs. So I thought
Oh, so he's just doing damage.
he's just doing damage and trying to not get his buffs taken by Mischief, and then Wukong's
Okay,
actually doing the
interesting.
debuffs.
Okay. That is an interesting way to do it. I think I would probably build him for accuracy and then just turn off his A3. Like his A3 is going to be good, but if you just turn it off, then he doesn't have extra
Oh,
buffs.
good point. Actually, that's the one where he buffs himself and gets the extra turn, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's really good, don't get me wrong, but if that's what's screwing you, you already have a lot of those. Like the most important one is increased speed there. As long as you're hitting the accuracy requirement on his own, then you're good to go.
Okay.
While we're on him, what's his speed?
198.
Okay, cool. So, maybe that whenever if you decide to regear him, then try to increase his speed.
Yeah, okay. So yeah,
Okay.
I was very concerned with the resistance because I in my head it was just I gotta stop the mischief tank, and then the rest of it
Yeah.
was crit rate, crit damage, resistance were
Yeah.
like my main focuses on him.
That is enough resistance for him to be your resistance tank. So that would work. I think that might be limiting you on more potential damage though, even though it sucks when all of your buffs get stolen. So I think I would just go the opposite route and put accuracy on him and try to get more speed. Even if you can just get to 220, like over 200 in the 220 range is what I've found to be a pretty successful goal for hard Hydra.
Okay.
And then if we do that, then we can take Sun Wukong out.
Yeah.
So if we
Okay.
take Sun Wukong out, then we can add a provoker in.
Okay.
So what provokers do you have? I see Wixwell, I see Vizix.
Yeah, I've been using Wixwell, who's insane for it, but I tend to like shut off the rest of his skills when I do it on auto.
Okay.
But then I guess if he's putting the count, this is where it's like more practicing because he puts counterattack on himself. So
Yeah.
theoretically, it should happen automatically.
Yeah.
Um, I just got a 6-star Seeker
Wixwell's a
Soul.
tough build. Wixwell's a tough build
Yeah.
because I want resistance, accuracy, and speed. And then, defense and HP is nice as well. But he's going to put all those buffs up on himself. And then you're going to be right in that same spot.
Right.
So, where you're at on your account right now, you're probably wise to be picking one thing for your champion to do. And that's probably really good advice for other players also who
Okay.
they see me make these crazy builds and then they're like, okay, I'm going to do all the things, but sometimes it's better to just do one thing and be successful with the one thing.
Yeah.
So, you think you're going to level up Seeker or do you think we should I mean, we can use anybody. Like Vizix would be great there, I think, in this team.
Yeah. She needs a rework. She's got very old like throw-in gear. I think I threw it in for maybe Faction Wars or something. I haven't actually built her to use her yet,
Okay.
which is kind of
Okay.
a shame. I should. And
Yeah, I
then
think she's great and she have full masteries in books and stuff too?
she's on her way. I've been
On her
throwing her
way.
in
Okay.
occasionally as we get there. Not booked yet, but
Okay. So I think if we just make that one swap, if we just change the gear on Wallmaster to be more damage, accuracy, speed kind of stuff, and then we put in Vizix, I think you have all the roles covered and you're going to add a lot more damage. Because when
okay.
those other problematic heads pop up, then you have a way to deal with them.
Okay. So Vizix Sun Wukong comes out for Vizix.
Yeah.
Okay. And you think
Yeah.
Vizix in a provoke set is a good idea?
If you have it, yeah, we
Okay.
we talked about that in the video on my channel. I run her in a provoke set on my account, and it's not even good. Honestly, it's gear that probably most people have. If you farmed Ice Golem a little bit over the last year, you probably have as good of a gear as I have, or close to it.
Yeah, I think I can justify it. I've got defense
Yeah,
gloves for her. We've got
yeah,
some speed boots. I think I could probably limp her in a provoke set.
yeah. And then you could always farm more Ice Golem,
True.
if you wanted to. But
Everybody's favorite
Um,
dungeon.
yeah, I don't know. I think it could be so much better, but they
Yeah.
don't want to change that. So another powerful champion that you have there is Mikage. So I think we could get a lot of damage out of her on your other team if we kind of keep her in mind as the central piece of the puzzle. So I assume you have Ninja,
hmm
and do you run them together on the same team?
I have messed around with it. I actually said recently that I was having some trouble getting anything going with them,
Okay,
which is definitely my own fault. Um,
okay.
and someone actually sent me a DM with some tips about like why he's so important to have when you run her, and how he's doing so much damage with the A1, which was
Yeah,
pretty interesting stuff. So
yeah.
he probably needs a
Um,
rework.
Really, the only thing that you need with Ninja is like you're building him like a damage dealer, which you've already done, and you're putting accuracy on him, which you've already done. So you should be getting good damage out of him. Maybe it's his attack stat that's too low.
It,
So I
it's
would, I
decent.
would,
I think it's the teams I've tried to build around him. Where
okay,
like my good champs have already been used. So like I'm short a reviver or I was short something
yeah,
else, and then I just kind of stopped trying to do it because I got caught up in building the other team. So I'm excited for the
okay.
next reset so I can really try something with them.
Okay, cool. So, what if we just take all of the cool things that I've noticed about your account and put them into a JGigs sandwich?
All right.
So, we have Packmaster for the block buffs, right?
Okay.
And we have Glycade for the revive. And then if we put Mikage in there and Ninja, then we have the makings of a pretty ridiculously good team, I think.
Okay.
So, what we would need still in that team is decreased defense I don't think you have decreased defense and weaken on anybody. Like you don't have Venus or Bellinor or anybody like that, right?
I do not.
Okay, and you don't have Estrid, right?
No, I don't
Okay.
have her either.
Okay, cool. So, um, who's your next go-to for decreased defense then?
Um, I think that that's one that I think about, but I don't think I really. It's usually Deacon, and then
Okay.
Ceres. Beyond those two, I don't think I have a ton of options. As
Okay.
before this morning, now I've got another one that's pretty exciting. But
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, you wouldn't need her for this team, so that could be for a third team.
okay,
We can use somebody who's already leveled up. No Stagnite on this account.
no, isn't
Dang.
that crazy?
Yes.
I got the skin for him a while back because I was like, I'll get him eventually. Nope,
Right.
no
No,
Stagnite.
Okay. I think I would. Oh, pros and cons. I don't know if I would prefer one over the other. Like I could see Ceres being very good in this team, and I could see Deacon being good. Deacon's boosting you. Ceres is void, and she has that buff strip that you like. So either one is fine, I would say.
Okay. Do you think she would work in this build? I think I have a second one. Let me double
Yeah,
check that.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
absolutely she would work in that build.
Because she's also very
Absolutely.
important in my one of my arena teams, so I can't change
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. For normal Hydra, you can basically run whatever speeds that you want. And you're not probably going to be using her outside of normal. I don't think you have a reason to.
Okay.
So then the last thing, what is the last thing? So it's that provoke again, I think. So what are our other options for provoke? You
Uh,
said you just got a seeker, right?
I got the 6-star Sulfur Seeker, so he's in the queue to be built.
So what if we went Ceres and seeker? That is a lot of turn meter boosting. In the previous Hydra, I would have said this is an extremely high damage output team because you're boosting the turn meter so much. But you might be in a spot where you've boosted too much. Like,
Boosting too close to the sun.
yeah, because if you kill the heads too quickly, then they get that block damage. And if they have the block damage, then you can't do any damage. So I would say maybe save the Packmaster build for later and just use Sun Wukong.
Okay.
Because then you're removing some of that turn meter boost and you're giving yourself one less champion to build. So that's always helpful.
Yeah.
And then Glycate as a turn meter boost and Seeker as a turn meter boost. So you're cutting out a little bit more of that. And I think that that's going to give you a big, big damage output.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't work, like if you're still dying, then I don't think you will. I think you're going to be popping heads left and right. But if you're still dying, then you could take out the Seeker and put in Artak.
Okay. I do
And
love
just
me some
like kind of
Artak.
let yourself get cleansed or put him in provoke gear.
Okay. That's a good thought.
Um what else you want to talk about with your Hydra teams today?
Um, I mean, honestly, whatever you see that you think needs addressing, I think it'll be interesting to try some of the new stuff. And it's a good idea, I think, to try to do it without me having to build too many new champs because I've got 3
Yeah.
legendary books and quite a few champs that need them. I got to finish booking him.
Yeah.
Glycad is just not going to have books for a minute, so like
Yeah.
uh, I had 20 books not long ago, and we just keep getting such good pulls that I'm having to use them. So
Good problems though.
good
Good
problem to have
problems.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I see that you have Sigmund, the high shield. That's another legendary that's pretty decent at that provoke role.
Ah, yeah.
Not sure you
Okay.
actually want to use him. But he provides like some security with the shields,
Okay.
and he has a decent provoke that he gets around to reasonably well.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a pretty good ability, but
Yeah.
like you kind of have to book it though if
Yeah.
you're going to use it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll just be frustrated.
Yeah. Books are such a
So,
problem, man.
yeah, yeah. I think it's better than it used to be, but it's not as good as it should be.
Yeah, there should be some sort of access to them. I think at this point we could justify some way to actually farm them deliberately and not hope you get one from
Right,
Clan Boss.
right. Plarium seems very opposed to that, though.
Yeah.
They did not like that idea.
There's not
You
even
know
one.
how
Is there one in the
content group
calendar?
chat is. I think there is one in the calendar. Yes, is there? Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm on 271 plus. No, I don't think so. They took out the sacred and the legendary book.
Well, you know,
Turds,
can't have
dude.
nice things. Anyway, I'm excited for you. I actually think that just with a couple small changes, you might actually be even able to double your damage
Man, that would be
on both
insane.
teams. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be wild. I got my first Hydra class chest last time, and then this time I got
Okay.
my first second chest. I'm covering it right now, but I got my first second chest,
Okay,
which
cool.
was pretty
Okay,
neat.
cool. We're gonna clip that, the part where you said you're high. We'll just clip that and use that against you. But other than that, I think on the note of these Hydra chests that you're talking about, how do you think it's in the sites? Like, is it believable for you to think that you'll get all four chests in 1 week?
No, not right now. That's hard to imagine.
Okay. Okay. I think the people that were getting all four chests in 1 week, with the changes, now they're not. And I think that's one of the main reasons why they're salty. So why not Plarium? We need to just change that value and bump those all down.
Yeah, I have a lot of problems with point thresholds as they pertain to Hydra. I think these, like even just regular chest, the placement of these chests is so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
like how do I graduate from normal into worse chest than I was getting at top
Yeah.
damage? Like, what are you talking about? Who
Yeah.
thought that made sense? It's
Yeah, I
so
totally
silly.
agree.
I've always hated
Yeah.
that. Um, so yeah, a lot of that needs adjusting, I
Yeah.
think.
And like you can't get any winning chests from Hydra Clash unless you do enough damage on your own.
Yeah, there was a period where I was doing like 30 million damage across all my teams and stuff, but it wasn't enough to get the chest. So I contributed
Right.
sometimes to us
Right.
winning, but didn't get
Right.
anything for it. So what the hell is this?
Right.
Who thought of
Right.
this? There's still plenty of
Dang it,
stuff to
we
be
should have
annoyed about.
complained more in my video. Your video is going to get way more views because we're complaining. Hit that like button. You know you like the complaining.
Yeah, there's still plenty to complain about for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, I'm excited for you. You're going to have to update me on the Hydra teams and how they go and, how much more damage you get because of this.
Yeah, I definitely
Probably
will.
none, and then you'll be mad at me.
I don't know about that. Actually, I just thought of something for these Hydra chests. This lasts for 2 Hydra cycles, right? The Clash
However
rewards.
many. I think however many. You just on that track.
So
So you
this
just keep
1.2
going.
billion, it just builds up until I get it?
Yep. Yep.
Oh. And then does it
As far as
reset?
I know. And then it'll go back to then it'll go back to 0 and you'll go at it again.
And but like outside of the confines of this clash.
Yeah.
Oh. Well then I mean I'll eventually get it.
Right. Right.
Oh. Well, what's everybody mad about then?
Oh no, here come the comments. We were doing so good complaining this time.
Yeah, figured I'd throw that in there. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Man, I appreciate this. This was very helpful. I've learned quite a bit. It definitely speeds up the process of trying to figure it all out myself. So I'm excited to do some homework and report back to you. Probably in a couple weeks. It'll probably take me a little bit, but I'm
Okay,
excited.
well, as
Man.
a retired teacher, now you know your homework assignment.
Do you have anything going on you wanna mention here?
Yes. I have a sweet Halloween subathon planned for actual the last day of October, like trick or treat.
Nice.
I would love if everybody came to hang out. I have like cool stuff to give away and do stuff for the community. And then it'd be cool to get some of your viewers to come out and hang out and stuff. So that would
Yeah.
be really, really cool. Yeah, yeah.
All right, I will do my best to make that. I don't know what the time zones are gonna look like, but,
Well, I'll be streaming for probably 12 hours that day.
all
So
right. I see no
I'm
reason I wouldn't be
sure
able to pop in then.
future Jay can find some time
Yeah,
to
definitely.
visit.
All right. Well, everybody go head over. I'm going to link the video we did on your channel below. Go head over there, subscribe, and get ready for the Halloween stream. I appreciate this, man. This
Perfect.
was awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I love hanging out with you. Your perspective is like a nice little Venn diagram with me. Like we have cool overlapping thoughts, but then you have some like really interesting different thoughts from me. So I love doing this stuff. Thank you for having me and taking the time. And yeah, I just really appreciate it. I
Yeah,
love
man.
talking about Hydra.
All right. Well, I'll probably be
Yeah.
hitting you back up again for
Yeah.
this in the future when our account has developed a little bit more.
Sure, that sounds great.
All right. Well, yeah. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Click the link below to go check out the video we did on his channel, and I'll see y'all later.